is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Sunday morning. I'm Deidre Johnson. This morning on Sunrise, Portland police finally have a suspect in custody after a tense scene that lasted several hours. How police found him after he ran across a freeway. Plus, the restoration efforts going on inside Timberline Lodge, which will reopen later this morning. But first, let's check in with Daisy Caballero for a quick look at the forecast. Hey, Daisy.
Hey, good morning, Deidre. Happy Sunday, everyone. Taking you straight out to a beautiful look through our Wells Fargo Skycam. We're seeing some of those blue skies with some low clouds off in the distance. We're holding 44 degrees as of this morning, and it's going to be another beautiful day. But something else to also keep in mind, as I'm showing you the satellite radar here, we are starting to pick up some light showers for parts of the coastline, for the Coast Range, and that will also be the case for parts of Southwest Washington and us here in the Portland area as we're looking at right about noon to right about 3 o'clock. Then after that, we'll be seeing more of the blue, clear skies with no more of that rain. Current temperatures this morning, 35 degrees out in Scappoose, 33 in Hillsborough. We're seeing 40 degrees in Westland and also seeing those mid-30s for the Salem and Kaiser area as well. So looking ahead for today, right about noon, we should expect to see, like I said, maybe some light scattered showers. This system is not even really picking up a little bit of that rain, but we're expecting to see right about those mid-50s by right about noon and should be warming up into those low 60s. We have a lot more to talk about coming up in my full forecast.
All right, thanks so much, Daisy. We've got a quick traffic alert for you. Several bridges will be closed most of the morning due to the annual Bridge to Bruise race. It will impact the Hawthorne, Morrison, and Broadway bridges until about 11:30 a.m. It's best to use an alternate route during that time. And the northbound lanes on the Interstate Bridge will be closed for another hour. ODOT says it's due to an inspection that happens every 2 years. Southbound lanes are not impacted. The closure should end at 7 o'clock. Portland police now have a man in custody after spending several hours trying to detain him last night. It started by Northeast 99th and Gleason around 5:30 last night. Officers responded to calls of a man with a machete starting fires on electrical boxes. He also threatened a person with the blade. When officers approached him, he refused to listen to orders and then ran across the entire freeway. There, he snuck into the basement of a home.
In that time, we did a limited deployment with our CERT team, utilizing drones and robots in an attempt to make sure that he wasn't in there. As you know, he was armed with a machete, so we didn't want to risk anybody, to include our canine partners.
He eventually dropped the machete but tried to elude police. He got stuck in some bushes and was detained. No one was hurt. Police in Oregon City arrested a man who tried to stab an officer Saturday afternoon. Officers responded to a Jiffy Lube where 23-year-old Adane Gabriel Escamilla had allegedly trespassed earlier. During the second stop, he reportedly brought out a knife, tried to stab an officer, then ran to a nearby business.
Once he left that business, he entered the roadway and was walking through traffic with uninvolved citizens that were unable to drive away and remove themselves.
Officers were able to get him to drop the knife and bring him into custody. He's currently in the hospital but is expected to recover. Once released, he'll be booked into the jail. He'll face several charges, including aggravated attempted murder of a police officer. Parts of downtown Portland are dealing with open drug use and drug dealing, despite an increase in police patrols and other safety measures. First, police focused on the area around the Central Library. But after some cleanup efforts, the focus moved a block away to 10th Avenue and Salmon Street. Police spoke about trying to crack down on the open drug use.
We have to react. We don't get to choose where they go to sell their drugs. It would be nice, but that's not the option. And so we are constantly, almost behind, one step behind in where it's going. But because we're having constant interactions with them, it's easy for us to follow and figure out where it's going on.
Under Portland's 90-day fentanyl state of emergency, lights will soon go up around the Central Library. It's another tactic to stop drug dealing at night. Contractors and staff at Timberline Lodge have been hard at work following the roof fire Thursday night. The lodge will reopen this morning. The building has been closed while crews make repairs. Mount Hood National Forest shared some pictures of the work at the lodge. Today, the Cascade Dining Room is offering breakfast starting at 10. Timberline says you should expect workers to still be doing repairs. The American Red Cross partnered with local and state fire officials in Marion County to make dozens of homes safer. The group installed smoke alarms in Salem as part of the Sound the Alarm campaign. During the initiative, they installed 280 alarms in 180 homes. The annual wolf report for Oregon is out. It shows wolves expanded their territory in 2023, but their population remained flat. That ends more than a decade of growth. Tim Gordon has the story.
The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife just put out the numbers on Oregon's gray wolves. It is a statewide minimum known count, as they call it, representing the number of wolves verified through tracks, photos, or radio collars. The number was 178 at the end of 2023, the same as the end of 2022, not including the 10 wolves sent to Colorado to help establish a wolf population. But ODFW says the population is likely higher since the count can't capture all the wolves. That said, the report's lack of growth for the first time in 16 years is the result of outdated policies, according to the Center for Biological Diversity.
And it's really, really clear that the way you're implementing things on the ground right now isn't working because it's sending Oregon's wolf population into a flat line.
Amarok Weiss specializes in wolf populations for the conservation group in what's been a contentious issue since settlers came west, especially those raising livestock like cattle. Wiped out by 1947, wolves were eventually brought back with protection from the Federal Endangered Species Act. Now managed by the state, wolves can be killed under some circumstances, like when a wolf has 2 confirmed attacks on livestock in a 9-month period, despite ranchers having used non-lethal deterrent methods.
I cannot underestimate the emotional trauma, the stress that the wolf is putting on ranchers. It is a game changer.
Wolf attacks represent a small fraction of livestock losses, but ranchers like John Williams say they feel every bit of it. On the other side of the ledger, the latest report shows 36 known wolf deaths in Oregon. 33 of those were human-caused. 16 wolf killings were allowed by the state. 12 of the remaining deaths appear to be from illegal shooting or poisoning. These numbers are up significantly, and Weiss says it's no surprise poachers feel like they've got a green light.
These results are exactly what we've been anticipating because of how many wolves the agency has been killing and for the increased level of illegal wolf killing that we've been seeing in tandem with the agency wolf killing. Wolves may be a resilient species, but they can't take that much mortality.
In its report, ODFW described poaching as a growing concern and said it is working with other agencies, including state police, to address it.
We did reach out to the ODFW about the report. They didn't have anyone available to speak on camera. They did say, though, that parts of Northeast Oregon remain hot spots for wolf livestock conflict.